All right, everyone, we're back. This is a follow-up on the Las Vegas shooting. Today is October 14th, and a lot's happened, since the 8th. And if you've been following the news, and also the fake news on television, and then the real news on the internet, if you know where to look for it. Private blogs are pretty good on this, but you know that a lot of stuff has happened, and this thing's just developing. Pretty much the way I said in my first video, this is a big time, high level cover up, and it just continues to get worse and worse. I mean, the latest. Let me talk about just the latest stuff. Of course, the timeline changed. With Mandalay and Las Vegas police, they can't get the timeline straight. Things don't match up. They have to change it, try to adapt it to make it fit their agenda, their narrative, which isn't working out. The narrative that this guy was crazy, all that's not working out too well, is it? And then this security guard who was shot on the 32nd floor, he kind of disappears just when he's supposed to be interviewed. They don't want him talking. I mean, this reeks of cover up. I mean, it's so obvious. It's ridiculous. The people that were at the airport getting shot at, Las Vegas police have been talking about that. They've been trying to silence those guys. The sheriff and the mayor are talking totally different stories than the actual police and security guards. We talked about the incident at the Bellagio lobby. That's continuing to be covered up and continuing to be. There continues to be evidence and videos of that incident that it actually happened. Apparently there were shootings all over the place. There were reported shootings, investigated shootings that they're not telling us about that same time. I mean, there's obviously more than one shooter. I mean, the latest thing, I've been coming to the conclusion that the Paddock guy, they found him dead in the hotel room. Nobody saw him shoot himself or anything like that. He left no note. I don't think he intended to shoot himself, because there's no note, no suicide note, no intention, no purpose. I'm starting to believe he's like a Lee Harvey Oswald type, fall guy, and that somebody else may have done the shooting here. They haven't proven that he did this. There's no actual proof that he was up there pulling the trigger on all these weapons. I mean, the guy was a hunter. He had a lot of weapons. They claim to find all this stuff at his house. None of us have seen it. Another crazy thing is it's just like with 9/11. With the Pentagon and everything. There's a million cameras around the Pentagon. It's the most secure place in the world, and conveniently, there's not a single camera on the day of 9/11. You don't have any film of these jets hitting the Pentagon or anything. There's no film. Any film from outside, like the gas stations and stuff, was confiscated, even though some of it got out. And the films that got out from that, the very few videos that got out from that, showed like a cruise missile hitting the Pentagon. That's very fishy stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that because that's another story. But this Las Vegas shooting becomes very evident. It's a cover up. And we knew that. We kind of knew that, like almost from the start, because things were not adding up then, and now they're really falling apart. And like I said in my earlier video, we're never going to know the truth about this. It falls in the same category as the Malaysian airline incident. We never found out the truth about that. 9/11, we don't know the actual truth about 9/11. We really don't know about that. And I'm not saying that it was a conspiracy at all levels, but something's going on there. Some fishy's going on there with 9/11, especially with the Pentagon part of it. And anyway, on this Las Vegas shooting, then you have to ask yourself why. Why does anybody want to do this? And I like I said before, you got to look at what do you accomplish by shooting these people and having this incident at this country western concert, and who's the demographic at this concert, and then you start looking and analyzing this thing. Who's going to benefit from this? Well, it's like, I don't know if you know what Antifa is. It's anti-fascist groups that are out there, and some of them are violent and radical left. And I'm not saying this is Antifa, but it's something like that. But I think it's at the highest levels of our government that what they want to do is get crowd control. They want to get metal detectors at all these venues, stadiums, and concert venues. They want to get cameras everywhere. They want to get complete control of the crowd, and I think it has something to do with something like that. And also, you know, these people that own these companies that sell these things, you know, there may be a monetary angle to it, but I think it's more of a political angle and more of a power angle. Whereas they're afraid of a civil war and all the people that are armed. They want to get at the Second Amendment like usual. They use these incidents to get at Second Amendment you know, gun rights and all that. And it has to do with, you got to look at what agenda is being benefited by this incident. And so they're attacking a crowd, a demographic of pretty much people that like Trump, that voted for Trump, that are pro-gun. You know, this is the demographic of this concert. And then also, like I said, the gun control issues, the Antifa type style issues. This could be an Antifa thing, but I don't think it is, because there's way too much power involved here. I mean, there's people telling the sheriff, the mayor, the news, the CNN, the NBC, the CBS. They're being told what to report and what not to report. They're being controlled, very obviously being controlled, because they have nothing in these newscasts, in the general media newscasts of papers, about a second shooter, about Bellagio, about the airport where there was a shooter out there, and the police, the Las Vegas police, actually reported that and on the news, and then they quickly stopped doing that. And like I'm saying again, do your own research online. You'll find videos, you'll find evidence of two shooters, you'll find evidence of shootings at the Bellagio, at the airport, and even some other places that have been coming up. And the idea that this guy might not even be the shooter. And I mean, I'm going to continue to watch this thing, and if I need to make another video, I will. And so just stay in touch, and I said earlier, you know, be aware of this stuff and take notes, and be afraid of it, because this is scary stuff in terms of the power, the people in power in our country. And like I said earlier, there may be a shadow government that's beyond the presidents and the Congress that really run the show here. And you know, the shadow government, you know, that the same shadow government are not exactly the same people, but an evolution of the people that killed Kennedy and started that whole thing, you know, and people that decide when we're going to go to war, and who's going to win the war, and who's going to supply the arms. Usually these powerful people, you know, banks and petrol companies. You got to think about, you know, he who has the gold makes the rules, and this has been going on for centuries. And they sell, you know, the arms to both sides of the war, and stuff like that's going on. It's been going on for a long time, and we're talking about that level of stuff. You know, we're talking about Rothschilds, and people may not have heard of people. There's actually trillionaires out there. We don't know. They're not reported. We don't know who they are, because they stay under the radar. They're showing up as, you know, part owners of this company or that company. You know, there's people that own a lot of companies and they have a lot of money, way beyond the billionaires, and we don't know who they are. And I'm talking about those kind of people, and that really run the show. They have the gold. They run the show, and this is pretty high level stuff. People that can control the media, the FBI, the CSI, the CIA. This is a powerful group of people, a scary bunch, and they're capable of pulling stuff like this in the name of maintaining power and order. You know, you've seen it on TV, on movies many times. But the extremes they'll go to maintain power, control, and order. You know, how many people were shot over there and killed? 500 people were shot, and over 50 were killed, maybe 80. I forget the numbers, but you know, who's willing to do stuff like this? You know, and people like this are in the name of order and control and all that. So keep listening.